Here is Mohammed bin Salman on Fox News. He did a sit-down interview with Bret Baier the other day, which was quite friendly, is my understanding. I didn't get to see this full interview, Bradley, but what is your assessment of how Bret questioned MBS?
Well, so I wanted to start off by watching this clip where Baier previews the interview, which is sort of him like framing it. But then we could watch a little bit more, either if you want to see him talking about whether they need to get nuclear weapons from now that Iran's getting nuclear weapons, or we could watch him talk about sports washing because of the golf thing.
Or the fact, the part that you put in here, the man who received a death sentence for criticizing the government. I would like to hear a bit about that.
Let's watch the preview, and then we can watch what he said in the actual interview. But this is how Baier was characterizing it to Martha McCallum last week.
Bret Baier, the Lego man of Fox News.
Exactly, and also considered the respectable newsman.
The past and what has happened, even things most recently, an Associated Press piece about a man that posted criticism on Twitter, or now X, who was sentenced to die. And he said yes, and there are things about our laws that need to be changed. He was very introspective. He said mistakes had been made. This is a country, as I said, in transition. Religious conservatives obviously ran the show for a long time. Radical Islam was a problem. He's been trying to root that out, but he acknowledges there are still problems in the kingdom. Sorry, it's a really windy night here on the Red Sea in Sandala. There's a wonderful golf course that's being built behind me, Robert Trent Jones Jr. I hope to play it someday, but it's quite amazing to see the transition here. But we really talk about a lot on a lot of different issues.
That golf course?
And I think even his staff was surprised how blunt he was.
Yeah, it's refreshing to get blunt answers. I'm going to squeeze in one more before I let you go.
How refreshing, how honest he was, and the aside of, oh yeah, there was a man sentenced to death for tweeting negative things about MBSN, but look at this beautiful golf course. He was very introspective, and they're concerned about radical Islam over there in Saudi Arabia, which is just so clearly a PR move by MBS, as has his entire tenure been, to get into like the right-wing ecosystem, essentially, by going after radical Islam while being a complete fundamentalist himself, in the way of like still presiding over a regime that subjugates women. That doesn't is that
the right-wing ecosystem
non-radical Islam?
Honestly, like it's kind of worse than that. Like there is a global project still against the radical Islam thing that not only America, of course America, like the war in Iraq and all the stuff post 9/11, that like China also.
Yeah.
And so like they're a lot of the clients for Saudi Arabia love anti-Muslim stuff.
I 100%. India is another example of a leader that really does not like Muslim people, given the treatment.
Golf and oil, and we'll control the Muslims, even though we had previously subsidized them. But
yeah, and also this is not the only person that the Saudi Arabian government has recently sentenced to not death in this instance, but to a lengthy jail sentence for criticizing the government on social media. Just headlined it today. 18-year-old girl who was 17 at the time when she tweeted these things that were critical of the government in Saudi Arabia, sentenced to 18 years in prison. 18 years. And so, like, that is the kind of... I am curious about the timing of this interview, I gotta say. Fox News is right now on the hook for a ton of money that they're going to have to pay out to Dominion as a result of that lawsuit. The Smartmatic
little
suit
injection of funds, you think?
Is still the Smartmatic lawsuit is still pending, and they're going to have to pay a ton of money there. And apparently, that's the speculation about part of why Rupert Murdoch is stepping back, is that he did not want to testify in that suit in particular. So they could need some sovereign wealth money over there at Fox News, and I would not put it past them to seek that out.
It's so disgusting. The Saudis, the oil monarchies that we have been propping up. This idea that the people indigenous to that area, the people who probably work on those rigs and stuff like that, none of them get any of that wealth. It goes straight up, and it goes straight to golfers that are willing to throw those people under the bus. It's such a disgusting sort of like fire sale, or come one, come all. If you're powerful enough, come take this oil and take this money. And yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm really, I remember like I was at NYU when all those stories were coming out about how they were using like basically slave labor from Southeast Asia to build buildings, stuff like that. Like that's what that represents. All those immaculate buildings that they have in there, it's like one of the worst systems on this planet, backed up by like our military, and it's just so gross.
It really is. And yeah, I mean, in the way that he's saying that he's going to combat radical Islam, right? Like that is the non-radical Islam just the one that is like free market capitalism on steroids? Because that seems to put everyone's fears to bed when you make that case.
Even like Mecca, like I saw like some Muslims talking about that big clock tower that they've put over like the holy ground. Like everything is so like gauche and like, I don't know, decadent. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we can't get past that Fox News paywall. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's a paywalled interview?
Pain in the ass.
Oh, right. Okay.